Slept on Cinema is sponsored by Training Ties, the ultimate shoe tying tool. If you know someone who's struggling with shoe tying for any reason, Training Ties is the perfect solution.
It's filled with characters we don't care about and an alien creature we're not really allowed to understand.
A senseless and offensive orgy of violence.
Predator 2 never bothers to flesh out the details of its horrific story.
It's a disgusting piece of repulsive filth, and the people who made it should be held criminally liable for contributing to the delinquency of minors.
Seen Predator? Good. Then there's no reason to bother with Predator 2.
This one confuses edge of your seat with in your face.
Predator 2 is high of tech and low of brow.
This stuff is generic, derivative, and it shows.
The mayhem is nonstop, and some of the effects are terrific, but it would have been nice to have a plot, too. Welcome to this week's episode of Slept on Cinema. I'm your host, Stan Steamer.
And I'm GrobeStreet.
This week we are getting into the 1990 action classic. I think action is just really the genre of this. It is an action classic, Predator 2. So this is the second feature in our triple feature from Alien 3, Predator 2, and then we have Alien vs. Predator, the culmination, coming up next. And just like the last film, this movie was amazing. I don't get how it qualifies. Don't get it. But this movie, like all movies we review, is at or below 50% on Rotten Tomatoes for both critics and audiences. And we structure the podcast so that the first half is spoiler-free, talk about some things to look for in the film, take a break, go watch the film, come back, and talk about what we just saw. You want to give us the rotten premise?
Rotten premise. Los Angeles is enduring a heat wave and a crime wave, so the pressure on police officer Michael Harrigan to solve a strange string of murders is mounting. Harrigan thinks the culprit can be found among the warring gangs and drug cartels, but FBI Special Agent Peter Keyes knows the horrible truth. Their killer is a fearsome extraterrestrial with keen hunting abilities that include superior night vision and the power to make itself invisible. Critics 36%, audience 44%.
At least the audience gets a 44. Like I would have been really disappointed with humanity if this was like a 20 on the audience.
I don't know if you know the metric, but there's a metric besides Rotten Tomatoes that's a Cine score or something, but it goes by just
yes.
And it got a B+. So a lot of people did enjoy this. Pretty high.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And is that the one that they interview people right after they walk
Yes.
at the movie theater? Yes.
Yep.
I mean, this would have been awesome to watch in a movie theater.
Yeah. There might just be a couple of reasons we'll get to it. There might have been a letdown.
But yeah, I'm in the A+ camp. This movie was awesome, super fun to watch, and it's great. It's like obviously it's not the original. The original Predator is one of the greatest movies of all time. So we got the same thing. We talked about this with Alien. If you're expecting that, that's not this. But it's also, if you're expecting that, to just go watch Predator. Like that, you can still have that. This doesn't tarnish that in any way. It's just a different movie, and it's a different awesome movie. So leave the past behind. Let yourself enjoy this one, and I think you'll have a good time.
Absolutely.
A little bit of background. Movie came out November 21st, 1990, Thanksgiving weekend, which I feel like used to be more of a big movie weekend than it is now. Opened number 4, which is kind of surprising. I feel like I would have expected a sequel to Predator to really just come in hot, but number 1 was week 2 of Home Alone. So again, like, what are you going to do? Home Alone has just one of the greatest movies ever. Overall, took in $57 million on just a $30 to $35 million budget. So this movie did all right. I think people made some cash on this. Original discussions, Arnold was originally going to come back. They couldn't agree on price, so they moved on from him. Our main man, Stan Winston, did the effects for the Predator again, so you're in for a treat there. I don't know. We should probably keep track. I don't know how many Stan Winston movies we've done. And then also like his proteges as well. It's probably getting up there, but you're in good hands there. Originally got an NC-17 rating because of all the just extreme violence in the film, but they trimmed down some of the scenes and got it down to an R. That would have really tanked the reviews, I think. And a little bit on just the tech here, because you watch this, and if you're watching it now, you're like, okay, yeah, I get, with CGI, they could make this predator creature become invisible, no sweat. But this was 1990. There was no CGI. And the fact that they did this in 1990 is unbelievable. And it basically, they took the same technology that they had from the original Predator a few years prior, and they just amped it up. They took what they did before and made it even better. So what they did was they would film the actor who was Kevin Peter Hall, who was actually in the Predator suit, but instead of the Predator suit, they would film each scene with a scene just nobody there to get the background, and then they would film him in this red suit, and then they would basically like a green screen, but they did it red. They'd filter that out, and then they would print out these giant copies of this film, and they would slightly zoom in and then sort of take the empty background footage and then shrink it slightly, and they would get this sort of, I don't know, fractalized background effect by just putting layer upon layer upon layer of this shrunken down version of the background, which is brilliant. And the amount of work that went into that in a pre-CGI world is unbelievable. And here they amped it up even more than in the first feature by if you look carefully, you'll see some of the invisible, active camouflage. They have things moving through the background, so there might be cars or trains or explosions. They have glitches too as well when it gets wet or damaged. And those are the things that they couldn't do when they first did the first film, but they figured it out, and it's really cool.
And that's a great background, and it's pretty clear because we've done some movies that were made, a decade or two later that hold up less than this does. And this was made in 1990. So all of these, like the effort that went into making this, it's like watching it now in HD, you're like, it's pretty impressive that this was 30 plus years ago now. It's incredible. Some of the ones we've done in 2010s, it looks better than that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. The early CGI was in no way compared to this. I mean, this holds up completely because of the way they did it.
Yep. I'm excited. Get to Bolos?
Let's do it.
Bolo, a live reporter leaving mid-story.
Bolo gunfire. Quite a bit.
Quite a bit. Bolo disobeying direct orders.
Yep. Bolo, and I can't remember which other films, but I want to say off the top of my head, this is the third one of these, but Bolo Predator Vision.
Oh, yep.
I feel like we had, I want to say we had at Monkey Vision.
Alien Vision? We got Alien Vision.
We might have had, we had Alien Vision last film. That's right.
Monkey Vision. Well, fair about that. Bolo. This could be a drinking game. Hopefully I'm not stepping on any toes, but Bolo references to it being hot.
Yes. If this was a drinking game, you would be hammered pretty early in. Bolo, our main man, Robert Davi. I feel like ever since Showgirls, I've had just a new appreciation for Robert Davi.
Bolo, men in similar attire.
Yep. Bolo, powdered pain relievers.
Bolo, it's been a few episodes, so I'm glad this is back, but Bolo grabbing someone's balls.
Nice. Bolo, red dots.
High-end red dot movie.
Yes.
Bolo asking how someone's balls are.
Twice.
Yep.
This seems to be a trope, but they do a great job here. But just Bolo and L.A. police station. I feel like there's a lot of movies where you see this exact scene, and they do it fantastically here.
I think Last Action Hero ripped this off and made fun of it directly.
Yes.
Bolo, a PR specialist.
Yep. Bolo, a hotboxed car.
Yep. Bolo, a very peaceful skull cleaning scene.
Yes, I had that on my list. And the flip side, Bolo, a very dirty alley. So dirty.
I have Bolo, people covered in soot.
Yep. Bolo curlers. Are these still a thing? Do people still use curlers?
Oh, curlers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think people use them. But not any less of a thing, that's for sure. Bolo, I rewound this a couple times. Ramming a car on purpose with someone in the back of the pickup truck that you're ramming with.
Not very considerate.
No.
Bolo Blood. Quite a bit of blood. If you're not into blood, this might not be your film.
Almost got NC-17. Bolo, really enjoying celebrating victory. That is a big Predator thing, celebrating victory.
Bolo a meat locker. It's
Oh,
another prevalent item in our movies.
Bolo, the title line.
Yes.
Quite satisfying.
This is a great one, but Bolo the alien skull.
Oh, yep. Bolo, sweat.
Yep, had that one. Bolo a very lightweight metal.
Very sharp. Bolo, an engraved pistol.
A very old engraved pistol.
Yes.
Bolo lightning.
I think that's it for me. Yep.
I will just finish it off with Bolo a spine.
Oh, nice. Drink to pair with the movie. I had a lot of fun with this one. Not if I go first?
Go for it.
I gotta go. This might come up a few times, but I'm gonna go for drink to pair with this movie, the El Scorpio. It will make some more sense on the other side, but it's an ode to heat and some cuisine in the LA area. So it's mezcal, fresh lime juice, 1 ounce, some agave syrup, and some muddled avocado. And that will make a little bit more sense once you see the movie. So an El Scorpio.
Yep.
Oh, also, of course,
I like it.
the spicy salt.
I'm not sure I've ever had a drink with muddled avocado in it. That sounds amazing.
It took some digging for you to find an avocado drink, but it does look good. And green, which is perfect for this movie.
Yep. Mine is far, far simpler, but this is a very hot, a very sweaty movie. And when it's hot and I'm sweaty, I just need a ice cold, like Pilsner, just a straight up beer, nothing fancy, just ice cold beer. And watching this movie, even if it's the dead of winter, you will need an ice cold beer to just cool yourself off.
This feels like a movie you could easily have quite a few nice ice cold beers while watching. That's a perfect
Yes.
You have to watch this on a hot day while doing that.
Yeah, ideally, yes.
Great choice. It's going to be fun. All right, this will be fun. See you on the other side.
Yeah, enjoy.
Enjoy.
Los Angeles, 1997. It's the hottest summer on record. Pollution is choking the city. The gangs control the streets. As bad as things are, they're about to get worse. Much worse.
Whoever did this took out 4 men armed with machine guns by hand.
He's on safari. Lions. Tigers. The bears. Oh, my.
Danny Glover, Gary Busey, Ruben Blades, Maria Conchita Alonso, Bill Paxton. Predator 2. He's in town with a few days to kill this Thanksgiving.
Welcome back.
That was a ton of fun.
Yeah, nothing else to say. That was just awesome. It's a movie. We end up watching a lot of movies like this in the sense that it's a movie that just went for it. There were no one involved in this movie, top to bottom, held anything back, and it shows. And it's super fun to watch as a result.
Yeah, I think that we just got lucky again we just get lucky with sequels. People have such high expectations with these first ones, and then with these other ones just sneak under the radar because some of it is just related to the first one. Because this movie should not be on our podcast. It is a fun time, and I can't wait to get to the draft.
Yeah. I know we were talking about this in the break that we both have a number of picks to draft from, and that's just testament to how awesome this film was. Like, this is a movie that is going to give you a ton of draft picks.
This is a movie that's come back. It's had one of these reappearances too, where they've done a couple articles online, like big features, where it's like, did we miss what was there for this movie? And it's had a couple like rebirths throughout the last 30 years as well, and you can see why.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that people did. But no longer.
No longer.
All right. I don't know if this is a true one of one pick, but for me, I just love this concept. So I'm taking it first overall. I guess I'm going to say the audacity, and the creativity to make a movie that takes place 7 years in the future. I've never even come across a movie that there's so many futuristic things in this film, but it's not like way off into the future. It's just 7 years. Like, this movie takes place in 1997. The movie came out in 1990, but there's an LA subway. The guns are all crazy. There's just all these things that didn't exist. And they were like, yeah, 7 years from now, this is what it's going to be like. And it gives you, like, what I like about it is it gives you a little bit of room to just make anything you want. And like, you can just make it a little bit crazier. And it's like, well, it's in the future. It's not now. So it's in the future. Sure, that could exist. But it's like, it's not bonkers where you're having to invent like flying cars or whatever. It's just 7 years in the future. It's like just the right amount that you can do whatever you want, but you don't need to go crazy with the budget.
That's my pick too. It's just like a cheat code. Like, why don't more movies doing this? You just open up the door and you can just care about everyone still. It's not like, 30 years in the future or some prequel. It's just 7 years. And it's just allowing you to like this big lampshade of anything you want, where like right now, especially with like AI, if we were to do this, like 7 years from now, you can come up with anything. And in 2033, it's, who knows? You can just say whatever you want. And we have the same people involved. It is a genius thing that I think when we make our movie, we'll just whatever day, and not present day, whenever the movie comes out, it's 7 years in the future.
That's exactly right. And then we can do whatever we want, but it's still very relatable.
So relatable. Same cast.
It was a brilliant move. Whoever thought that up, I hope they got like the high fives the rest of their lives.
Just genius. How do you come up like what? Love it. Great.
Genius. That's exactly what it is.
When you brought it up earlier, but I just want to give it credit. Predator Vision is my first pick.
Nice.
Overall, I got to see the POV. It was the alien last time, and of course monkey vision. But I just seeing the eyes of the predator, and they gave it to us a lot too. Especially in the beginning when you weren't quite sure what the vantage point was or where he was, that it was coming from, that one predator. They just did it so well, and it was so fun, and it was great fan service. So the Predator Vision.
Yeah, it's just fun, especially because in this, and then same with Alien, where the predator has different, like it sees things differently. So it's not just that you're getting the point of view, but you're getting to see the like heat signatures and all this stuff that, especially in 1990, was so cool.
Right. In 7 years in the future of Predator technology too. So you get to see.
Yes.
And you get to see their technology and the sounds too. Sometimes that's where like the echoes and like it recording a prior voice, you get to hear it then too. You never quite know what's going to go on when the Predator Vision is there. Yeah.
And they made great use of it at that scene towards the end where they're, supposed to be chilling down everything, and they think they've cracked the code with the Predator, and you see it sort of working and then not working. And it's just great.
My second pick, it's tough. There's two different scenes that I was close to choosing, but I'm going to go with the subway scene. The subway scene that starts with the guy in the hat sitting down and the thugs are there and they're all in there, and it ends with just mayhem, that people getting shot and ripped to pieces. And I love the realization at the end when it was just corpses everywhere, and it was like, they got civilians this time. What's going on? And it was like, well, they were all armed. You just got every single one. Who they were. If it was an old lady or what. If you had a gun, you got destroyed. And then, of course, ending with Bill Paxton's death at the end, too. But that whole subway sequence was just like, if that's to come on, I don't know how you change the channel if you see that starting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was not prepared for Bill Paxton to go so soon. That really threw me.
This may be the coolest piece of Bill Paxton trivia. He has been killed by an alien, a Terminator, and a Predator. The only one ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Pretty ridiculous.
That is an amazing piece of trivia. What I also loved about that scene, and you touched on it in the beginning, the thing that kicks it off, the guy reading the newspaper who then pulls a gun out. I had just watched Death Wish. I don't know if you've seen that, but it's a classic film. The protagonist, his wife and daughter are horribly attacked, then he becomes a vigilante, taking down muggers and criminals in the streets. And this is clearly an homage to Death Wish, because there's one almost exact same scene where he's riding a subway car and reading a newspaper, and some guys come up to rob him, and he pulls a gun on them and shoots them. And it's just this is the scene, and it's crazy seeing that. I mean, it was so clearly an homage, and I just love when that happens.
Absolutely.
My second pick, and I'm just shocked that I got it this late, is just the overall cast. This is another one of these films where this movie does not need this cast. Like this, the fact that you get Danny Glover and Gary Busey and Bill Paxton, you get Robert Davi, it's a movie about the Predator and about this crazy action. You don't need these top-notch actors, and Glover in particular is so good in this, and at no point is this like tongue in cheek. Like he is serious. He is going for it. This is all real, legit movie star stuff that he gives you, that everyone gives you, and it's cast perfectly. It's just acted perfectly. I was just blown away by everyone's performance, but especially Glover. I thought he was just awesome.
Yeah, the cast is like overkill. It's almost like we couldn't get Arnold, but we didn't get the superstar, but we got like 5 all-stars to be in this.
Yes.
Glover was just like, and he's perfect. He's like kind of dominant. He's got that big presence himself. He's like 6'4", so it's like not even you could get that body up there. It was just a perfect casting. And everywhere you turn, it was just like that guy who's like so good, and it almost felt out of place for this like sci-fi actiony movie to have this like level of actors, but to have Gary Busey show up in the helicopter, you're just like, oh my goodness, another one. It was the cast was insane.
Yep.
Yeah, second round. I don't know how that slipped through. Predator Vision got me, I guess.
My third pick, I don't really know how to phrase this, but it's just that this movie just kept going and getting more and more awesome. Like especially at the end, you have this massive scene in the chill down meat lockery area, and you kind of think that's the climax because it's this massive showdown. But then after that, you get a chase through this apartment building, and then you get this crazy scene on the spaceship. And it's just like every single one of those 3 scenes could have been the only of those 3 scenes in the film, but they gave all of us, they gave all of them to us. So it was just this like crazy extended going for it finale that just kept getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And it was just so fun the entire time. You're just like, how can this keep being so awesome? And it was.
And yeah, it just kept leveling up, and he would just fall through the elevator, and then it goes into the spaceship, and then that scene happens, and there's more. Yeah, that just kept elevating. That was an incredible sequence.
Yeah, and how cool was the spaceship? The spaceship itself on its own was it was awesome. It had this like weird mist or fog in there. It was all decorated. It was sort of like high tech, but also kind of like ancient and tribal. It was just, they did it so well.
All right. This is tough. I'm going to take a move. At one point, this is a move of Danny Glover. So he was inside with the briefcase boys, whatever, and they were like, get him. And he just puts up his hands and goes, ah, and puts his hands like this, and they like flinch, and he just sees them in the groin. So it occasionally pops up in movies, this like freezing thing where it just disarms the villain.
Yep.
Great move. And I rewound it a couple times. There's no reason why the guy flinched. The guy has a gun on him. He just goes, ah, and he just knees him. It was a great move.
Yeah. I feel like there's real value in just doing something unexpected, right? Like you're in a situation, those people probably pulled guns on people any number of times, and they've seen, the 10 or 12 reactions that someone might have. If you really surprise them, that it might work. Someone might freeze because they're just like, what is this? This never even occurred to me that somebody would react this way.
And that's exactly what he did. I'm sure he used that knowledge, and that's exactly what he did. React this way and then knee him in the groin. I thought that was amazing. And then my final one, and this seems to be a thing specifically for like police chiefs who are in charge, or like just, department chief, but talk about stuff being deep in their butt. They always like to talk about how stuff is like so wedged up deep in there. Like we had it in Last Action Hero. It's all about like the Hershey Highway. Yep. It's just the central, the downtown guys are all up in my butt. And it happens in this. And it just is the only way anyone happens in shows. So just watch out for it. Whenever it's like the police person in charge, it's just stuff in their butt talk. It's always funny.
That's amazing. But yeah, that's totally right. Like that I guess it's probably a not very recognized trope, but that is very much a trope.
You see it once and then you're like, wow, that's everywhere.
So good. My sleeper, and this is also related to the police folks, but having a change of clothes. Like, it is so sweaty there, and guy shows up, he's all sweaty, he's soaked through his clothes, and he just busts out a clean shirt. It's like there's nothing because like being sweaty at work and you're having sweaty clothes like that sucks. But having that change of clothes ready to go, that's just a move. It's a great move.
Yeah, change of clothes is a game changer. I mean, you're on a long flight, you switch your socks, something like that. Just a quick move.
Oh, yeah.
Huge mood booster. It's a great pick. Good subtle pick. I have an anti-pick.
Oh, let's hear it.
This is Bill Paxton when he first came to police station. My anti-pick is someone trying to get my attention to tell me a story. I never want to hear it. It should be happening of its own volition within the conversation. But if someone's tracking down to tell me something that's always it's gonna blow my mind or be a crazy story. And I like how she's like trying to avoid it, but then eventually, and then he got what was coming to him. He got grabbed in the balls. And that's what should happen to anyone who tries to start a story out of nothing.
Yes, that's totally right. All stories should be organic, and if not, it shouldn't be told.
No, you don't know how long. You know what you're signing up for. How many head nods you have to do. You're gonna be the jerk by the end of the story. It's just inevitable.
Yep. Yeah, there's no way around it. I think my only other honorable mention is I liked I like when an Uzi shows up in a film. I feel like there's not enough Uzis anymore. So we got a nice Uzi, and then later you get the like kid with the toy Uzi. So you get two types of Uzis,
and
which is just a classic movie gun.
I don't know what happened to the Uzis. Like, you think of like the movie Falling Down in the 90s of just LA. It's just Uzis everywhere. I love the Uzi joint combo though. Everyone in the one of the gangs have to have a joint in one hand and a Uzi in the other. Great combo.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if they've fallen out of favor or what.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
I liked your superlative choice for this week. Most LA thing.
Movie? I mean, this was a very LA movie, and now that you're a West Coast guy, you probably have some insight here. I mean, you're not an LA guy per se, but you're a Southern California guy,
right?
So you have some insight here. And there were a couple things I could choose from here, but for me, it was the smog. This was a big, like the smog was almost like a part of the film, and it went hand in hand with the heat. But it's one of those things. Like I feel like when I was a kid, it was like I was almost like worried about going to LA because of the smog. It's like I never heard of smog in some other city. It was always smog in LA went hand in hand. Whenever you heard about LA, you also heard about smog. It was just this thing. It's a funny word. It's a funny thing. Is smog still a thing? Because I feel like I don't hear about it as much.
I'm in San Diego and we don't hear about the smog, but I mean, just as someone who grew up near you, the smog in LA was a huge thing as well. Like I was afraid, I don't know how planes got through it. It was all you could talk about was the smog in LA. It's not talked about here, but I don't, like I said, I don't know what goes on in LA.
Maybe they figured it out. Maybe there's not as much smog. I don't know.
Maybe more places are smoggy, so it all blends in.
That's also true. Maybe it's just we're all used to the smog at this point.
That's a good LA thing. Mine, most LA thing, I think, has to be El Scorpio falling into a taco stand. I thought they had to make that like, clearly we know where he is, and he's falling into that. You just have to show his face and some guac at the end.
Yep.
And I also liked the reason for war and blood on the streets was just the heat. I like that. It was just like, that's enough.
Yep.
And it's just, it's hot. So everyone's murdering each other.
Yeah, I get it. Everyone's irritable when it's hot like that. You got heat, you got smog, you got predators roaming around. It's tough.
Lots of choices for this next one. Bumper sticker line. What line from the movie would you most like to see on the back of someone's car on a bumper sticker?
That's right. There are lots of choices. This was a very, very bumper stickerable movie. I wrote down 6 different options, which might be a record for me. And I really don't know what I'm going to choose. I mean, there's one line that comes through like 8 times that easily, but like it is a bumper sticker, and that's shit happens that I'm not going to go there, but that's probably the bumper sticker of the film. But I think I'm going to go with luck is my specialty, which is just you throw that on some fancy car and it's a funny, like very tongue in cheek bumper sticker. I feel like I'd see that on some sports car and I'd be like, yeah, all right. That guy's all right.
Yeah,
Like,
it does
he
deflate
gets
the
it.
ego. Yeah, it's like
kind of, he's like, yeah, he has this ego, but he's in on it.
yeah, he knows he's charmed a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. It also reminded me of this woman I used to work with, and one time we were chit chatting about what we'd done, and she's like, "Oh, I came back from the casino this weekend." I was like, "Oh, I didn't realize you went to casinos." She's like, "Oh, I actually go quite a lot. That's how I make a fair bit of money going to the casino." And I was like, "Oh, no way!" Figuring this was I should play maybe a professional poker player or perhaps a sports bettor. I feel like those are ways that conceivably someone could make money, but no, hers was slots. And she had for years consistently been making money playing slot machines. So I don't get it. It kind of blew my mind, but she could
would
throw this bumper sticker on her car.
Yeah, you just plan on the luck, which it would take to win at slots.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome. I have two choices, both along the same lines. My choice is going to be, okay, pussy's face, it's your move. My wife watched some of this movie and was pretty silent through most of it. And then that happened. She was just like, oh, what? And it was just like this exasperating, just like, why would he say that? And I just thought that was great. So if she saw that on the back of someone's car, I know other people have a similar reaction. So I almost took, that's like ripping off my dick and shoving it up my own ass. I thought that was just,
the writing in this was amazing. I mean, there lines like that just are getting ripped off right and left. It's unbelievable. I also had take a deep breath, loosen your sphincter. Goes right in line with one of your picks.
Well, yeah, the cutting off the dick and putting in the own ass was, I think, trying to gain favor because he was talking to the police chief, being like, yes. Oh yeah, I got problems too, man.
Yeah. I liked the door swings both ways.
Yep.
It's good.
That's
a little more cerebral.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just throughout the film, great writing, great 90s lingo. Is just a fun 90s movie.
Yep. Yeah. You got to watch it in the 90s mentality, to early 90s, even though it's 97.
Yes.
Length, which was an hour and 49 minutes.
Perfect. I mean, it's like, I mentioned it before, how that last scene just keeps going and going. And in the wrong hands, that's terrible. You're like, all right, just wrap it up. But it just kept getting better and better and better that I didn't want it to end.
I think sometimes it could feel a little bit long, but then you get that big payoff by once you get to that final scene, and you don't want to cut any of that. So once you get there, it's almost like the finish line. And so I agree. Perfect. This one change to be a blockbuster. What's one change that you would make that would turn this into a even bigger blockbuster than it was? It was fourth, but what would make it basically number one?
So this one is just, sometimes I just got to go with my own gut here, and this is just me. And this is pretty minor, but I think if they had done this, maybe it could have tipped the scales. And I also think that maybe this was in the original cut and they had to trim this down. But in that meat locker scene, the big battle between Busey and the Predator, the Predator slings his, razor boomerang thing going right towards Busey, and then they block the shot of him getting sliced in half. And it was so... For the whole movie is about just going for it. The whole film. At no point do they ever hold back. And then they put a cow carcass in front of Busey getting cut in half. And it really was jarring. I was like, no, I need to see this. Like, I need that. And I think that was the missing piece of this film.
I think I like my choice, but I think yours is better. I agree. I mean, it was just like, and he was just there being like, I'm here to save the day. Don't worry. And he just charges in. You just want that. You want to see it. And you almost thought like, well, we didn't see it, but they're going to show us from another angle or something, right?
Yeah,
and
nothing.
And it's just left to our imagination. And this is not the movie for being left to our imagination. Show that. That's a great choice. That's probably the answer. Mine is sillier. I just said switch Arnold in it because I feel like most people, they did like a soft thing. So I think it wasn't very clear to people that Arnold wasn't going to be in it. So as good as, even though that's the letdown I meant at the beginning, is that I think some people went to the movie thinking Arnold was in it. So even no matter what, as good as Danny Glover was and everyone else, if you think Arnold's going to be in it, you're just a different person at the movie. You're an Arnold's fan. So I think that can be part of the lower reviews because it wasn't as clear to everyone, especially in the 90s. Like, how do you get the word out? You just assume Predator 2 has Arnold in it. And you show up and it's not there, and you're like, well, this movie sucks, and you don't even watch the movie.
Yeah, that's totally right. I mean, it's like the point about the 90s, too, is exactly right. It's how would you know? Is it in the newspaper? Is it a magazine? Is it someone, you got to wait for someone to see it and tell you.
How would you ever think, like, at the end of Predator, not to ruin anything, but one of them makes it, and Arnold could be in the second one. It wouldn't be the Predator, right? You would think that Arnold might be in it. So I would, if you didn't see any advertisement, I would understand why you would think Predator 2 would involve Arnold.
Yeah.
Next segment, spin-off ideas. What do you got?
For me, and you gave them a great name, the Briefcase Boys, but I want to, Gary Busey and his squad have clearly, they know a lot about this Predator. They've been chasing it down. They know how it sees. They know what it does. They know where it's been. I want to see that prequel with Busey and that squad just like tracking the Predator across, they're like, oh, it's been in Beirut. It's been in all these different places. Show me that. Because I thought, Busey, this was prime Busey in this film. And give me that whole backstory with that whole squad of them chasing them around, learning this stuff, developing all this tech to try to battle them, things that don't work, losing people. Just show me the whole thing.
That would have been so great. You could have lost so many of those Briefcase Boys because they're so interchangeable. So many of them could have died during that whole movie. It would have been great. And then, he could have survived that one to get to this one, obviously not to see his death, but that would be perfect. He's perfectly set up for this movie. I'm clearly obsessed with this character, but my spin-off idea, I don't have a name for anything, but it's just El Scorpio's story. And I think that he was even more special than they let on. He wasn't just a gangster. So he was able to, and I think if Danny Glover didn't shoot him, because of the amount of cocaine that he took in, he had extra senses where he was tracking the invisible Predator and he had his guns locked on the Predator. I think if Glover didn't shoot him, he was about to kill the Predator. He's that much of a kingpin badass. And so the biggest badass gang in LA is gearing him up and giving him his cocaine to fight the Predator. And he was about to win. So I want to see the origin story of El Scorpio, who, by the way, was also, the actor was killed in the first one. He's a super famous stuntman, and he was killed in climbing into the truck of in the first Predator. So El Scorpio was in the first and is like a huge stuntman that's been all over Hollywood forever. But I want to see his origin story because I do believe that he got the best of the Predator.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like that era and that in LA then with that, like the gangs and all that, like that would have been awesome. And it's like, it would be one of these things too, where you can like have different movies, like different genres in the same universe. And I feel like that's just like not done enough. Like you would have like a gritty crime movie about this gang and then lead right into Predator 2. Like, why not?
Yep. I think it's perfect. Any last segment, tying up loose ends, sponsored by Training Ties. Do we have any notes we didn't get to?
The movie made me think about how hard it is to make a hot, sweaty movie. Just with all the like sweat stains and continuity, like you're constantly having to like make sure people are just the right amount of sweaty. Like that seems like you're really taking a big challenge there.
It seems like something that might have been a good idea to start, and then you're like 10 days in being like, wow, we're still doing the sweat thing every single day.
Yeah.
And Danny Glover has to wear this like tweed super extra XL pants and like overcoat every single time that's just covered in steam and sweat and soot. It's just the best attire for this hot day.
Yeah, whoever the like continuity director or whatever the role is for like making sure people are just the right amount of sweaty and sooty and bloody, they really had their work cut out for them here.
The King Willie Alley scene was shot in a neighborhood so rough that while filming, residents threw feces at the crew about the noise, and they found a real dead body while filming.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I didn't even realize there were neighborhoods that were so rough that was a risk.
They didn't either.
I had one other thing where there was one of the scenes where they were on the roof and there were all of those like whirly vents, and there was more on this roof than I'd ever seen in my life. And it occurred to me, I was like, I have no idea what those are, but I've seen them before. I'd never seen this many, but I've seen them before. So then, of course, I had looked the whole thing up, and they're turbine vents, which are nicknamed whirlybirds, and they work by they're fully mechanical. There's no power to them, but they are designed so that the wind catches the sort of turbine blades, and it spins and then draws air out of your attic or your house to cool your house down. So it's like an electricity-free way of cooling your house.
It's incredible.
I was like, wow.
Are there some whirlybirds coming to your house in the near future?
I feel like I need one. Yeah. Like, I feel like I have vents on the top of the house. Why are they not whirlybird vents?
Yeah. And that's cool. I'm glad you looked that information up. You always see those in movies, and especially those rooftop scenes. You're like, those are cool, but what do they do?
Now we know.
Now we know.
There was one rooftop where they had to have 35 of those.
Last thing I have is those group of predators at the end. Danny Glover was a huge fan, or probably still is, of the Lakers. And those are Lakers at the time. In those crew of predators that come at the end are a few scattered Lakers from the 90s.
Oh, that's awesome.
I forget the names of some.
I mean, that's in part when you've made it, when you can just sort of cast people you want to meet and hang out with in random roles in your films.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, coming up next, we got the finale of our triple feature, our Alien Predator triple feature, and no better way to close it out than Alien vs. Predator. It all comes together. The culmination. This movie is a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it. It's been a while since I've seen it, so I'm psyched. And I think this was actually also, correct me if I'm wrong, the next movie that came out after Predator 2. I think it was right around that time.
Oh, wow. That would be great. Was this a movie theater movie for you? AVP?
It was not. I came along to both of these franchises later in life, but I'm very disappointed that it was not.
It is a good one. Can't wait for it. This was awesome. What a blast, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, later.
Later.